Good morning and welcome back to Sumatra. And as you can tell, I'm not on a bicycle right now. I'm on foot, but that doesn't change the beauty of the scenery around me. I'm on the Segura Road. There's the sign for the Rumah Sumber Makmur, the place where I'm staying. I can't find it on Google Maps, but it's an amazing place to base yourself if you want to explore this area, and I think it's relatively unknown. I've certainly never heard of it before. It's very basic lodging, so you'd have to be prepared for that. Some cold bucket baths to keep you going from day to day. It's not like a real hotel or anything like that, but hey, it's a place to stay. And check this out. My gosh. Look at that drop. This cliff goes straight down. I mean, I had no idea it was like this over here, because yesterday I went across the river up there on that trolley, like this trolley that hangs from a cable and you pull yourself across on a rope. And when you look down from there, it's startling. I'm absolutely fine with heights. I actually enjoy heights. They don't freak me out at all. But you're on that platform swinging, and there's no guardrails, there's no windows, there's no seat belts. You're just on this open metal platform dangling from a cable, and then you kind of look over the side, and man, it is a long ways down to the river, and you can sort of see a little bit of that here. Wow. And look how close that is to the edge of the road. I mean, right there at that exact point, it's straight down. It doesn't go in a slope to the river. It's essentially a cliff. That is crazy. Ay, ay, ay. But there's the mighty Asahan River. Yeah, I keep thinking I wish I had seen the water level before the recent dam. Everyone keeps telling me it had a big impact on the water level, and that before the dam, this would have been like a raging torrent. Now, I mean, it's just a normal river, but it would have been quite something to see it at its full power. Yeah, there's the river down there again. Man, look at that drop. Straight down. That is scary. Yeah, there's a lot to explore in this area. I think it's relatively unknown. Like I said the other day, and I mentioned several times, the somewhat famous YouTubers, the Lost Boys, they came here, but I think they were here for like one night or something like that. They drove down, zoomed around at all the waterfalls, or a couple of waterfalls, camped for one night, did the water rafting, and then left. So they didn't really stay here and like spend a week or anything like that, like I'm doing. And I don't know how they knew about it. They probably had their eye on the whitewater rafting right from the beginning, because the whitewater rafting is very well known. As I talked about back before the dam was built, this river was classed by some people as the third best whitewater rafting in the entire world. So that can give you an idea of what the river used to be like. So professional rafters would come here from all over the world, and they even had annual competitions. Like pros would come here and compete kayaks and rafts. When I was watching the Lost Boys video, when they did the whitewater rafting, they got to the end of their rafting trip, and it was wild. Much, much bigger water than what I've seen here. But where they stopped, their guides, they had 4 guides on the raft, and the Lost Boys, I think there were only 2 of them at that time, and they had 4 guides like running the raft, because it was professional level. You can't do it on your own, and you need 4 guys to keep the raft from flipping over. And then when they got to the end, they pulled to the shore. It says, okay, that's the end of our trip. And then they were looking at some rapids that were starting right past where they stopped. And then the guide says, yeah, that's class 6. and we can't even go there. Like class 6 rapids, you can't do on a raft. It will just throw you into the air and flip you over. You just can't do it on a raft. And that's where kayaking takes over. And I guess on a kayak, a professional can do class 6 rapids. But I didn't know there was a distinction between rafting and kayaking for like class 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think 6 is the highest. But again, I have no knowledge about this. It's kind of nice to be on foot. Riding a bike here, like I talked about the other day, just getting the bike ready, like even putting your shirt on and getting your sandals on and leaving your room makes you break out in a sweat. So you're soaked in sweat before you've even left your room. And then once you get your bike ready and you start cycling, yeah, you're drenched in sweat right away. But walking, a little more easygoing, so I'm not drowning in sweat just yet. That's still to come, I suppose. But where I'm going today is hopefully to another waterfall that's right here. I think my very first day here, I rode my bike to this point. There's a bridge here, and there is sort of a water park hotel, an abandoned place just up ahead. And I went scrambling around on the rocks, went down to the river to look at the river. And then after that, I pushed my bike up a road that goes up to this hill here. And I didn't know where it went. I had no idea where it was going. I just thought I'd go take a look. And eventually, I just turned around and came back down. It was really steep. Very, very difficult to even push my bike up that road. And when I got to the top, it just seemed like the road just went on and on and on forever, and there was nothing up there. But I was talking to the guide from Asahan river rafting, and he asked me, oh, have you been to the, I think he calls it the Blackwater Pool or Blackwater Falls yet? And I said, no, I don't think so, because that's where he went with the Lost Boys. And he says, yeah, it's very near your hotel. You just look for this sign, and then you go up this road, and there's this amazing waterfall. And it sounded like exactly where I went. So I showed him that road on Google Maps Street View. So like, you're talking about right here. And he says, yeah, you were already right there at the waterfall. But apparently at the point where I turned around, had I gone up just the next little hill, the waterfall would have been right there. That's what he told me. So I'm off to investigate this morning to see if it's true or not. And I've got a little bit of a late start. It's actually 11 o'clock in the morning, so it may not be good timing, because yesterday at about this time, that's when the rain clouds moved in. So far, it's looking okay. I don't know whether this is a rain system up there moving in or not, but if the rains do come, I hope they stay away long enough for me to check out this place first. And the guy from Asahan river rafting, he also told me about these bridges here. He was giving me instructions, and he said, you have to go to the place with the dual bridges. And then I thought, oh, well, I never saw any dual bridges, so maybe we're talking about two different places. But then when I came cycling by here again, I noticed that there are two bridges. This is the only bridge I thought was here, the new one there with the steel beams. But then I looked around and I noticed that beside it is an old bridge, the original, probably stone, and the main structure of that bridge is still there. So that's another one of my goals for today. So this is the road. I assume this goes to the old bridge, which is right beside the new bridge. So that's something else I wanted to check out. When he said two bridges, like old and new, I assumed he meant the village, like 7 or 8 kilometers up the road, that has the old Dutch bridge. and then the new one. I says, is that what you mean? He says, no, 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 here, there's also 2 bridges. And now I can see why I never even noticed it. The old bridge is barely visible. It doesn't even look like a bridge, but apparently, right here, this is the old bridge. And that, of course, is the new bridge. Yeah, I got a lot of photos and video of this bridge because that's where I went on my first day. This is the Valhalla water rafting, or not, water park, waterfall. And then I went down this trail down onto those rocks there and took some video and pictures of this bridge here. So when the river levels were much higher, oh, hello. Someone shouted at me from a truck, kind of startled me. I was about to jump over the edge. But I wonder how high, like, would the water level have been higher in here as well? Because if the water was like 4 feet higher, then you could actually get into the swimming hole right from that spot right there. You know, you just, from the edge, you dive in and climb out again. It would have been very convenient. The way it is now, when you go down there, it's not very easy to get into the water. Oh, it's easy to get into the water, you just jump in. But I don't know if you can get back out again. The only place is that little ledge there, and then you have to sort of climb up the cliff. But yeah, it's a beautiful spot here on the old bridge. And there's Planet Doug waterfalls right over there. I keep thinking about this fact that local people often seem like they don't know much about their own area, or even their own town or their own village, because I'm chatting with people all the time, trying to get information, just telling them what I've been doing, and they want to tell me where I can go. And then I'll mention things like this, where I've told a whole bunch of people, yeah, I went to the Nirvana Waterfall Water Park and Art Corner. I went here, and I use it as sort of a place, a reference point. Yeah, I went here and I saw the bridges and I saw this, and the local people have no idea what I'm talking about. And people who live in the village where I'm staying, who work at my hotel, even Ricky, the software engineer that I met, I told him, yeah, I went to Nirvana Waterfall Water Park, and he was puzzled. He had no idea what I was talking about. I don't know. It seems like it's a pretty easy place to remember. Same thing with my hotel. It's located in this tiny village, very unusual, and as far as I can tell, it's the only hotel on this entire road, all the way from the main highway, all the way to Lake Toba. This is the only hotel that I know about. And it's a real hotel. It has hotel rooms and has a restaurant, and you pay for your room and you sleep there. It is a hotel, the Sumbur Makmur. But nobody here knows about it. Even the people who live beside it don't know about it. People ask me, oh, where are you staying? Where, you know? And I'll say, oh, at the hotel. And if you're in a village of 300 people with just one hotel, not only one hotel in that village, but one hotel on the entire highway, you'd think they would know about it. And they go, oh, you must be staying at the Sumbur Makmur. But they look at me puzzled, like, where? And I'm like, no, I'm staying at the hotel, the Sumbur Makmur. And they're like, I don't know what you mean. I'm like, how can you not? You were born in this village and you grew up here, and it's the biggest thing in the entire village. How are you not aware of it? But yeah, that happens all the time, and it's an eternal puzzle to me. So here is the sign, and I'm a little bit confused about the name because my guide, or not my guide, but the man from Asahan river rafting, he called it Blackwater, but Ayer Terjun Nirvana has got nothing to do with black. So I don't know where the name Blackwater comes from. But I think this is where I went on my bicycle, and I found nothing here. But according to my informant, had I gone just a bit further, I would have gotten to this waterfall. So we are here to investigate. Yeah, when I came here on my bike, when I was down at this level, I made a comment that my bicycle has such powerful gears that I could ride up this slope if I wanted to. I just didn't want to risk breaking the chain or something like that, because you have to use a lot of torque. But then I realized that was just hubris, because by the time I got to this point where it suddenly the angle really got steep, it says no way, I'm not getting up there on my bicycle no matter what, chain or no chain. But yeah, this is very, very steep. So already the sweat is starting to run. All oil palm here. Yeah, to get up here, you really have to lean forward and bend your legs. And I can barely bend my legs enough because with all the cycling that I've done, a bit tougher than my casual cycling around Tanjung Balai. And then the hike I went on yesterday, that took me straight up very steep path. I woke up this morning to find that my calf muscles are like bars of steel. They're so tight right now. So it's very hard to actually stretch my legs forward enough to be able to get up this slope. Yeah, it's very, very steep. So I got here pushing my bike, and I wondered whether I should continue or not. Is there any point? But I decided to go up to that flat area, which I did do. And shortly after that, I turned around. But apparently I needed to go up just the very next hill to find the waterfall. So let's find out. This is as far as I got on my bike last time. And then actually I met someone here. Funny though, at the time, I got gender all mixed up because I thought this person was a man at first. So in my video, I was saying he and him and things like that. But then when I was chatting with him, I was closer and I thought, oh, I think this is actually a woman. But I couldn't be sure, so I got all confused. And throughout the rest of the video, without actually trying to be woke or politically correct, I kept using they, them to talk about this person because I didn't know, was that a man or a woman? Pretty sure it was a woman now, but at the time I got mixed up. So in the video, you can hear me kind of stumble over my words because I wasn't quite sure what pronoun to use. So anyway, I was talking to this woman down here. She was going around and throwing out handfuls of white powder on different plants. Not the full-grown oil palm, but on smaller plants. So I didn't really know what she was doing. It seemed like some kind of, it had to be fertilizer or pesticide or something. But anyway, I chatted with her, trying to find out from her, well, what's up here? Is there something of interest? Where does this road go? And she gave me the impression that this road just went on forever and that there was a waterfall, but it was far away and there's no way to get there on my bike. I'd have to leave my bicycle and continue on foot, and it all sounded like way too much trouble, so I turned around. But with new information, here I am, huffing and puffing, climbing up the next hill. And I hear falling water. Look at that cliff. Dramatic setting, that is for sure. And now those look like rain clouds. first glimpse. So I'm on the right track. Right there through the trees, you can see some falling water, otherwise known as a waterfall. There's a farmhouse here. The local welcoming committee. Yeah, the one dog looks like it has a broken front leg. You wouldn't think it would get hit by a car or scooter up here, but maybe it was down on the highway. Yeah. What a setting. That is spectacular. Hey, Poochie. Hey, Poochie. Come here, come here. And no. I've tried to befriend some of the local dogs, but no way. They want nothing to do with me. Ah, look at this. This looks like a cluster of people who have come to the waterfall. They don't look like farmers' scooters to me. These are probably visitors who came here to go to the waterfall. So I could have company down there. This looks like the trail to go down. Okay, so this is what that woman meant. Like, I could get here by bicycle, but I'd have to lock up my bike here and then go down this trail on foot. So yeah, I hear some voices and some laughter down there, so I'm not the first visitor today. Whoa, slippery, steep trail. Yeah, I gotta be careful here. This might turn out to be one of those places that can be classified as a hidden gem. Partially because, yeah, it's very well hidden, very unknown to an outsider like me. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be amazing. Look at this trail going down. Very steep, as I said. And it looks like there's several levels to this waterfall as well. And the other thing that kind of makes it a hidden gem is that it's so close to the road. It's not like you have to travel 20 kilometers through the bush to get here. It's just a short walk from the road. All you need to conquer is this slippery slope. And I'm taking this very easy. I'm crab walking down just to make sure I keep my footing. I didn't see any movement at first, but now I can see a couple of people down there moving around. But yeah, what a tremendous location. Look at that. It's not just the waterfall and the pool and the trees, but look at the cliffs going all the way around. Really high cliffs. So I've switched the GoPro to HDR because it looks really washed out on the GoPro screen. But anyway, getting closer and closer. Yeah, and it looks like there's really only one swimming area. Like, realistically, you can swim here, but even if there is a pool up there, I doubt that there is. You're not going to be climbing up there anytime soon, unless you're roped up and rigged up and know what you're doing. That is gorgeous, it really is. And I'm still crab walking. Doesn't look like much, I'm sure, on the GoPro, but One false move and you're sliding down here. And I'd rather not. So crab walking along. Yeah, it probably stays moist and damp here in this bowl all the time. The mist from the waterfall would just drench this whole area, keep it wet. Yeah, these waterfalls in Sumatra are something special, or at least the waterfalls on this road. And I've never been on this road before. This is the first time. But the thing is that you might associate a waterfall with like a tourist attraction, a little bit bland, a little bit blasé. But these waterfalls have a way of making you work for your waterfall. As I said, look at what you're hiking through to get down here. All through that, and I'm still nowhere near the bottom yet. I've still got all of this trail to work through. So you feel like even at Ponot waterfall yesterday, yeah, it was yesterday that I went there, right? Yeah, no, it was the day before I went to Ponot. And then at the base of Ponot you have like more of a typical tourist waterfall where you can drive right there with your car. They've got places you can buy cold drinks, things like that. And unless you're like a major waterfall aficionado, you might think, I'm not going to bother. But as soon as you leave the area at the base, at the bottom, and then you try to walk to the pool, the base of the waterfall itself, then you're dealing with some really tough rock scrambling to get there. So you get the best of both worlds in a way. Ease of access, and then you got to earn it if you want to get closer. It's kind of the same thing here. Looks like there used to be some sort of a structure, maybe even a dam here. I doubt it, but there's a cement structure there with a metal ladder on it. Who knows what that could have been. It's funny how you get caught up in your own way of thinking about things. I saw 3 scooters, so I thought, oh, there's probably going to be 3 people down there. But I just glanced over, and of course, there looks to be like 7 or 8. Because they're all like young schoolboys, I think, but they would put 3, 4 people on every scooter. Yeah, they've got a little bit of a shelter here and a place to build a fire. And then over there is the swimming hole. So I've made it more or less down to the bottom. I've got this cement tower right beside me. No idea what it used to be. Maybe they just came up here to get fresh water and they ran a pipe from here, I don't know. But here's the swimming pool. And surrounded on all sides by those cliffs. It's looking like I shouldn't really waste a lot of time with the rain clouds moving in. So let's go for a swim. Working my way over here to the right just to get a different angle on the different levels of the waterfall. And had a brief moment of sunshine. I should have come up here earlier this morning. The sun came out just for a moment and this whole area looked gorgeous, sun-drenched. Maybe it'll come out from behind those clouds. Got a little bit of a shadow, so there's a little bit of sun. Let's see if we can navigate the rest of these slippery rocks. Man, they are no joke. Even these boys, these students here, I noted they're walking around and And they've been slipping and falling as well. There are actually a couple of pools. I mean, you got the main one, of course, at the bottom, but there's a very tiny one right there where those falls are, and I assume there's another one over there behind the cliffs. But yeah, you have no prayer of getting up there to see what's beyond the ledge there. You're not getting up there. Keeping an eye on the skies. Oh yeah, there's the sun right up there. All right, let's go in for a swim. Got to get out my waterproof GoPro for that. So time to go in for a little bit of a cool down. Yeah, the sun hasn't come out, and I'm leaving my sandals on because yeah, there's these really slippery rocks. Not great for swimming, but I'm not planning on setting any Olympic records here, so just trying to keep my feet. Yeah, these rocks are so slippery. Whoa. And you just sort of ease yourself into the water. Oh, that's nice. Cold, for sure. Look at the view from down here in the pool. Yeah, I remember the Lost Boys like raving about this place, and I think they've been to a lot of waterfalls, and they make the effort to go swimming in every single one if there's a pool, no matter how difficult. And they were basically saying this is the best one they'd ever seen, the one they liked the most. So that's high praise. My swimming lessons as a child coming in handy. Yeah, you can't touch the bottom here. Nice side stroke. I think those guys are getting ready to leave, but I think they want to take a picture with me before I go, but they didn't time it very well. It's really hard to go forward. Like, this is a major current. We're like swimming against a river current here. As I could get. The rock here is really smooth. I can't get a grip with my feet or my hands. I managed to fight the current to get to this point. Yeah. Amazing spot. Really have to swim hard to get in there. The current is so strong, look at that. You'd have to swim with both hands. Beautiful. This is the Hero 9 that I'm using, so it doesn't have the water dripping coating on the screen. So all the water will, there'll be drops on the screen. Let's push off against the wall. Yeah, it's just the current carrying me along. Do I have food? Yeah. No, I didn't bring any food. No. I came back to shore. It looked like they were waiting to take a picture with me, but I wasn't sure whether they were willing for the shirtless Doug, or whether I had to go back ashore and get my sweat-soaked shirt. But maybe they decided, nah, we don't need a shirtless foreigner photo, and they all got up and left. Though oddly enough, as they were leaving, one of the guys came down to the water and he said, like, do you have any food? We're really hungry. I was like, sorry, I didn't bring any food. Yeah, so I'm not sure why they got the scooters too, so they could just zoom off in any direction, but I guess they want to have a picnic. But being guys, right, typical, it was all guys. There were no girls with them, so nobody brought food. I had the exposure value, the EV compensation set pretty high, because I hadn't used this camera in a couple of days, I guess. I forgot about the setting. So maybe my untanned skin looks even whiter than it is in real life. But now I've adjusted the exposure a little bit. Maybe things aren't looking quite as bright. Thought I might just sort of backstroke my way over to the waterfall again. Beautiful rocks all around. Beautiful spot. And here close to shore, like even right here, let's see, yeah, right at this point I'm standing on the bottom, and I'm just that far away from the shore, so it gets deep very quickly. Another step, one more step. Well, there's still some rocks here, so we're still okay. Oh, there we go, down to my neck. So right here, that far away from the shore, it's reached my chin, and then a little bit further it'd be over my head. So yeah, gorgeous pool, very deep, very swimmable, very dramatic. Swimming out to that point is very exciting. That's a lot of fun. I don't know whether Indonesians, like from this area, would know how to swim. There's only two guys from that group that I saw went into the water. Then they stayed right here where it's the shallowest. So I have a feeling they don't actually know how to swim in water that's above their head. But I don't know. Whew. All right. And check this out. There's the waterfall and the swimming hole. And then right where I got set up, it's right here. Beautiful log. Serves as a perfect Planet Dug bench. I love my benches. This is probably one of the best benches I've seen in a long, long time. A last look before I head out, back up the trail. A little bit of sunshine has come out. Nice view of the water now. Even a nice swimming area here, maybe, if we could get down to the water. Yeah, just down in here would be very nice. Even a little beach over there. A little bit of sand and gravel. This would be really nice. Perfect lighting, just as I go. A nice send-off. I haven't been able to hear any audio out of this GoPro Hero 9. So either it's not recording any audio, or I don't know, the speaker is shot or the microphone's not working, I don't know. But maybe you can hear me. Just slowly climbing up the trail from the waterfall. And not surprising, going up in this case is a lot easier than going down. Because when you're going down, you're facing forward and your feet can slip out from under you on this wet, slippery path with all the rocks and the wet leaves. But going up, yeah, you have a much better grip going up. Your feet don't have a tendency to slip out from under you. So, despite fighting gravity and going up, it's actually a lot easier than coming down. And it was nice having the GoPro floaty. It's one of my favorite grips for the GoPro, or for any action camera. You could use it with a DJI Action or a Insta360 Ace Pro, but just a floaty so that if you accidentally let go of it, it floats in the water so you don't lose your camera. It's just such a nice, spongy, soft grip. I really like this grip. The only problem with it is there's no tripod thread on the bottom, which drives me crazy. Like, GoPro as a company, they don't pay attention to little details like that. Companies like DJI or Insta360 or Ulanzi, Teleson, they would think about those things. I mean, if you're going to make a grip and you got a base, put a tripod thread in the base. Just drill a hole, put it in there. I mean, it's just instinctive, but GoPro never does for some reason. So there's no way to mount this anywhere. You can only hold it in your hand. But it is a nice little grip. I do like it. Nice bunch of oil palm fruit bunches here waiting at the side of the road. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 40 of them. Wow, that is so heavy. That is incredibly heavy. Whoa. I had no idea they were that heavy, to be honest. I can barely budge that thing. So you don't want one of these falling out of a tree and hitting you on the head, or carrying all these on a motorcycle, or those trucks, when you see the truckloads of them. Much heavier than I realized. So there's the road heading to this amazing swimming hole at the waterfall. Just got to remember that sign. And the Valhalla water park is over here. I think I'm going to stroll down to the same set of rocks since I'm out here walking around. Check them out a second time. Maybe go in for a swim there. I just want to see how easy it is to get in and out on those rocks. There's a gate here that's open today. Leads directly to the steps to go down here. So yeah, from here, I guess, yeah, it makes sense talking about the new bridge and the old bridge. There's the old bridge made out of stone and a cement archway. Yeah, I just never noticed that that face was a part of an old bridge separate from the metal structure there. So yeah, there are two bridges here. And this water, it's the same water that I was just swimming in, coming from the same river. This is where it just joins up with the Asahan River. Yeah, beautiful spot. It's gorgeous. So in terms of swimming, the only thing I can think of is right there, but from this angle it looks risky. Like you don't want to be down in there and discover there's no way to get out again. You want at least some kind of a rope. Yeah, it'd be pretty easy for somebody to rig up a rope there, but I don't have a rope with me today. No, from this angle, no, it doesn't look possible. I mean, you can come out of the water there, but then there's no way you can come up this. It's too steep, probably too slippery. I mean, you might be able to do it, but you could easily slip and fall back in. And through here, I don't know. Have to take a closer look. Got a nice cement base here. You could put a rope around that, and if you throw the rope down here, then you could come up, but no. I don't know, I don't think so. I mean, a rock climber could do it, come up through this track, but looks like beautiful spot though, whether you can reasonably go swimming here or not. Walking by my hotel right there on my way to the restaurant. It's about half a kilometer up the road as usual, and I just happened to be passing by this river trolley. I still don't know what to call it, where you can cross the river on this cable system, just pull yourself across on a rope. That's quite cool. I did that the other day. Though things always end up being a little bit wonky no matter what I do, because I showed up here intending to do it. I had the GoPro all fired up and I was going to film the experience, but the trolley, whatever you call it, the cart, was way on the other side of the river. And I thought, well, that's normal. Someone went across and they just left it there. Now you have to pull it towards you. So I did. I pulled it across the river all the way back to me. But when it got close, I noticed there was a bird cage hanging from the front of it. I was like, oh, I hadn't seen that before. There's a songbird, you know, a pet inside a cage. That was kind of odd. But I didn't know, you know, I thought, okay, someone left their bird there for some reason. And then I started to get ready to go across, and then I heard someone shout from the other side of the river. And there was a man there who came to the trolley to get his bird. I guess he left it there for just a minute or so, and while he was gone, I pulled it away. So now he's like looking across the river, hey, my bird, you got my bird. So then I crawled into the cart, and because he was there, I mean, my plan was to go across slowly, of course. I'm gonna take video of the whole experience. gonna stop in the middle and film downwards and, you know, take video of the experience. But because this guy was over there, he started pulling on the rope to help me, and I basically went flying across the river, you know, like zoom, non-stop, and then he pulled me to shore on the other side. Mainly because he wanted to help me, but also because he wanted his bird back. So he held the trolley steady while I got out of it, and then he got his bird and he left, and then I was free to go back across the river on my own. And this time I could do it slowly and take my time and take video, but that was kind of funny the way it all turned out. Well, this is something new. This truck that passed me is, oh, this is the rubber. Oh, I'm such a dummy. At first I didn't recognize it. It's like, what the heck is this stuff? But this is all the natural rubber. It doesn't look very pretty, of course, when it comes from the trees. This is the fresher stuff. It's a little bit more white. Yeah, rubber. And then this stuff has been exposed a bit longer and it's gotten a little bit brown on the outside. So I guess it all has to be processed. And they're bringing it here in these buckets and weighing it, and then getting, I guess, we'll get paid for it. Yeah, yeah, money is changing hands. So these are all rubber collectors over there. Man, it's got a real smell to it. At first I thought it was like pig manure or something. It really stinks. But it looks like they weigh them 3 at a time. I guess that's the standard amount, 3 buckets at a time. Make sure it's balanced, otherwise the whole thing is just going to go. Yeah, they haven't quite got it right yet. Interesting.
Okay.
There we go.
Very good.
Good. Oh, and this is how they weigh it here. It's got a balance.
62.
Oh, and then it's got measurements along there. Oh.
62. Ah, bilang 62.
Setahun tengah 62.
Masih terpotong mana?
Oh, there's a man over there taking notes in a book. He's doing a calc. My name is Douglas. Douglas. I'm from Canada.
Canada.
Yeah, yeah. It almost looks like a sea creature, you know, like a clam or something, or a jellyfish. Really interesting. It's like a, you know, yeah, it's just like a ball of rubber. Yeah. And now they, yeah, but stinks a little bit. Yeah, I can smell it on my hand now. All right.
Yeah.
Terima kasih.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, I can really smell it on my fingers. I always manage to get dirty no matter what I do. Other people get into a situation, come out sparkling clean. I go in, I come out, I'm covered in paint. Hello. I'm fine, thank you. Covered in grease, dirt, or now rubber. It smells a little bit like a latrine. I'm from Canada. Canada. Just going for here, makanan. Yeah.
Where is the here?
Sumber Makmur.
Junta.
Hotel there.
Junta. Oh,
Yeah.
thank you. Utagalung.
Nice to meet you.
Okay.
Your truck
Yes.
broken?
Broken. Not broken heart.
Oh yeah. Not broken heart, broken truck.
Broken truck.
Broken truck. All right, good luck.
Okay, thank you.
It was interesting. He came over to say hi, and he spoke a bit of English, told me his sister works in Dubai, and I'm just trying to come up with any kind of small talk in simple English. And I looked at the truck and said, oh, broken truck. And he says, yeah, not broken heart, broken truck. But my heart, not broken. It's quite funny. Beautiful day, absolutely beautiful. Couldn't have picked a nicer day for my waterfall excursion, the way it turned out. And good timing for walking down the road too, getting to see the rubber collection process. It's interesting what can make you happy when you're overseas. Like, I've often been in places where I just ended up feeling really good about the place. It's like, what a wonderful experience that was. And it usually sits on like 3 pillars maybe. You just happen to find a good place to stay, and then a place to get water, and then on top of that you need to find just one restaurant, like one place where you can be sure of getting a meal every day. And once you get that sorted out, you really feel at home. So, and then you can be in another place, like a city that is renowned for its attractions and what a wonderful place it is. But somehow nothing quite works out, and you just struggle finding a place to eat or something like that. And then, I don't know, things just don't work out. And here, maybe I spoke too soon, because it looks like my regular place is closed. I should not have opened my mouth. Yeah, there's my restaurant, but maybe, yeah, it's not open today, or not open yet. But at least I can get a cold drink next door. So, as I said, happiness in my life is having all I need is one place to eat that I like and enjoy. And up until today, I had that place here. Just one. I think that's the only, other than my hotel, that's the only restaurant of any kind here. Nowhere else serves any kind of food that I'm aware of. Though there's a little shop right beside my restaurant here, and I got some snacks. Just for fun, I picked out an assortment of their like local varieties of potato chips and things like that. Just for fun. The rubber truck is still there at the side of the road, and just as I showed up, a guy on a motorcycle pulled up, and I think he had 3 buckets of raw rubber loaded onto his motorcycle, like 3 buckets worth. And it's worth a lot more money than I thought. I mean, I didn't ask about the exact numbers. It probably wouldn't make any sense to me. Even if I did ask, it would be so hard to figure it out. But I just watched, and they weighed his 3 buckets, and he got paid nearly 600,000 rupiah, which seemed like a lot of money to me. I mean, it's certainly... Hello, how are you? Apa kabar?
Baik.
Baik.
Kenapa?
Hotel Sumber Makmur.
Oh yeah.
And so it's like 200,000 rupiah per bucket. But I guess gathering that much rubber really is labor intensive. I don't know how long it would take to fill up one coconut shell, but it would take a long time. And you have to monitor the trees all the time, recut the grooves, check that the rubber is draining into the coconut shells, animals haven't knocked over the coconut shells, or I don't know. It's a lot of work, so maybe the economics works out. I've been seeing a ton of these motorcycles, like that one there. It's carrying 3 of those bundles of rubber. Yeah, it all kind of works out well in terms of my experiences, because since I got back, I didn't have the GoPro running in time to catch them, but he just came down this trail on that motorcycle, and there's been 2 more, and I didn't have my GoPro ready. But all these men, the rubber harvesters, the rubber planters, whatever you want to call them, they know that that truck is there buying rubber, so it's all scheduled in advance, and they're all coming down out of the hills with all their rubber, and then they're coming down this trail. This is the trail that I hiked up the other day. So I went hiking up to the top and then over the top of the hill, and then you end up in all these like small rubber tree plantations. So it's all coming together in terms of my experiences here. I'll probably see a whole bunch more motorcycles come down over the next couple of hours. Looking out my window, right? Oh, well, there he goes. You just saw that motorcycle go by. Just saw the head of the guy on the motorbike. Pretty sure, I couldn't really see, but I'm pretty sure he was also carrying a load of that raw rubber, bringing it to the truck for sale. There goes another motorcycle going by. Yeah, I have to have the door to my room open in the afternoon. Otherwise, it just gets way too hot in here. I have my little Doraemon fan mounted on the table. That helps a lot. And I have another fan up there. And then if I have the window open and the door open, lets all the bugs in. But it's like a balancing act. If I close everything, keep the bugs out, then it gets very, very hot in here. I open it up. It's much more comfortable. Then I have to deal with the bugs. So since I got back, I was already in the bathroom, and I rinsed out all of my clothing that I was wearing today. They were all drenched in sweat again, so I gotta, every time I come back to the hotel, I have to go into that bucket bath shower, and you can even wear the clothing and dump water on your head and squeegee all the sweat out of the material. So I've done all that. And I powered up my kettle for a cup of hot coffee. Oh, so good. Life does not get any better than this. It really doesn't. Not just the swimming by the waterfall, which was amazing, but just sort of mixed in with all of the cultural elements and the work elements, seeing the rubber collection, payment for all the raw rubber, stuff like that is just fascinating. And yeah, these are the snacks that I bought. Local potato chips. It's just because when I went to that restaurant, the one I kept talking about, the only place I know of to eat here, my favorite place, and it happened to be closed today, but I was so looking forward to having a meal that an appetite was developing. So then when I could not get the meal, and there was this little shop right beside it, I got a cold drink, and while I was sitting there, I was scanning the shelves, looking at all the local snacks. So then, like, whenever you're in a store and you're hungry, you always end up buying stuff, right? But anyway, yeah, potato chips are always so disappointing because there's like nothing in the bags. It's mainly air, which is the main reason I never buy chips, to be honest. Even if you buy a huge bag, there'll be nothing inside them. I don't know how. I guess they put the weight on the outside. If you look at the weight is probably accurate, but what do you do? Anyway, so this is one of the local chips that I bought, some sort of beef flavored. And I bought these French fries, local French fries. I have no idea what they're made out of, probably potatoes, but yeah, there's practically like nothing in there as well. It's just a balloon, really. It's all just air. And while I was there, 3 mothers came in with a bunch of kids, and the kids just went crazy. They were grabbing all these things off the shelves, and they were pretty excited about these. So I thought I should get a package of those as well. I don't know what they are. La Cuckoo Rasa Balado. They look like cheese puffs, basically cheese puff balls. And I got a package of Villatos. They look like almost like French fries as well. Oops, that's the back. This is the front. Has sort of herbs and spices spread out over them. Those should be tasty. And one more. I got just basic potato chips. Original potato chips. And then again, practically nothing in there. Just for a snack. And while I was there, I saw that they had some peanuts. So this is nice. This is like a big, heavy serving of peanuts, and yeah, 8,000 rupiah for that bag of peanuts. So I'm gonna settle in here for a while, have my cup of coffee, enjoy some of my snacks. I don't really need to sample these on camera. They're just potato chips. They're not gonna be anything special. I just wanted to show them to you, what local Indonesian potato chips look like. And I'm going to shut down my Relive app, which has been monitoring me as I walk around to all these places. So I think that is it for today. I think all of my adventures are over, unless something happens in the evening. I don't have any plans at the moment. Something could happen, but for now, I think I'll call it quits for the video. Yeah, that was a nice little collection of experiences for today. I enjoyed that quite well. And there you can see the gorgeous weather outside. That's sunlight coming in my door. All right, that's it. Shutting down for now, and I'll see you in the next video.